This game is set in a post-apocalyptic scenario, where humans have been driven from Earth by an alien life form. The protagonist is an attractive female character, who's part of the Airborne Squad, soldiers stationed in the colony and space outside Earth. This setup bears a stark resemblance to Nier Automata. Here's the question: is the protagonist Eve from Stellar Blade human? We won't have a definite answer until tomorrow, when the final game is released, but there are still some hints, both in the demo and the developers' statements, that may point us in a certain direction. Firstly, in the behind-the-scenes video released on YouTube by PlayStation, the director mentions that the idea for this game arose during a taxi driver strike and made him think about how AI and machines are replacing human workers, while another developer emphasized the theme of humanity in the game.
The inspiration for creating this game came unexpectedly. It was when I saw the news about the taxi drivers going on strike. It's a job that will be replaced by artificial intelligence. And I was thinking, what if this happened to me? If humans can be completely replaced, what does this mean?
This project started with one question: what is humanity? Is humanity something that can be lost? Or can it be replaced?
This suggests that Stellar Blade will likely explore the concept of what means to be human, although it doesn't explicitly state whether Eve is human or not. Furthermore, there are some close-up shots of Eve that reveal what looks to be a brand and her upper back. Since there's no photo mode yet, it's hard to read it, but it can be clearly seen that it spells Eve, with what appears to be some numbers underneath it. This branding is at least a little unusual for identifying soldiers, and why would have a number? There are surely much better ways to do that. Also, you can dive underwater, and surprisingly, Eve is not affected by being underwater. She doesn't drown, or at least she doesn't struggle at all after being 6 minutes in the water, which is the longest I tested. That indicates that she either doesn't need to breathe or that she can hold her breath several times longer than a normal human being. So either she's not human, like an android, or a superhuman mutant, or maybe something in between, like a cyborg. Another piece of information is a note that can be found in the extended area of 807, accessible through the wall glitch. In it, the Disease Resistance member wrote that the colony would start a new project to get rid of the Naytibas and reclaim Earth, and they called it the Eve Protocol, in all caps, just like the brand on Eve's back. It's curious that this new military plan to reclaim Earth takes the name of the protagonist. The demo logs say that Taki is one of the greatest soldiers in the Airborne Squad, and yet the protocol is not named after her, but after Eve, who seems to be an inexperienced novice. What's so special about her, besides being the protagonist? Well, that leaves us to some interpretation. We know that the game's theme is what is humanity, and that Eve has some skills that are impossible for a normal human being, no matter how fit she is. The content of the note, along with the brand and the serial number she has, indicates that she's a fruit of a scientific experiment involving multiple subjects, and she's probably one of them. Maybe the only one who was successful, or maybe just one in a series of androids, cyborgs, or clones. There might be other Eves, who may be just like the protagonist, or maybe different people who went through the same experiments. The most obvious answer in the scenario is she being an android, what would explain how she doesn't seem to need to breathe, and it also be a logical explanation for her having a brand, along with what seems to be a serial number. And we never get to see Eve's squad, They all die before landing. Other ones we see are from Taxi Squad. Eve's squad might have been all androids from the same model as Eve. A more advanced model, created to be the perfect weapon against Naytibas. If you consider Eve's trailer, where she says that the airborne squad members only exist for the sole purpose of completing their mission, it can help to back up the theory of Eve being an android, of a model between many others.
Eve, what are you going to do after you defeat the Alpha Naytiba?
All airborne squad members exist for one sole purpose. All we must do is complete the mission.
To think that the point of your existence is to snuff out another species.
One thing though that seems to go against this theory is how emotional Eve seems to be, being emotionally affected by what happens on the beach at landing, in a really human-like way, and not robotic at all, even needing Taki to tell her to pull herself together.
No. No! The squad's life signs. We're the only two left. Eve. Eve, pull yourself together. Taki? Listen to me.
An android should follow orders without even blinking, and not show fear, panic, and affection in certain situations. I think the clone option is probably off question, since Eve's clearly not a human, at least not a normal human. But still, she could be a cyborg or a mutant. Those two things would explore the questioning of what is being human. How human are you if most of your body is a machine? How human are you if you have been genetically modified in a lab to be the optimal warrior, just like many others in that experiment that carry the same name as you? Those are two good approaches to the theme of the game, and both are plausible paths. But one thing is for sure, Eve is special. All the other airborne squad members that we see wear black suits. Eve is the only one wearing green, the color of hope. The same hope described it in that note, written by the dead soldier. The hope of the Eve Protocol, to free Earth and give it back to humans. So regardless of whether Eve is human or not, she is humanity's hope. Alright, so that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And let me know in the comments what you think Eve is. Is she a human, a clone, a cyborg, a mutant, or an android? Let me know. Alright, take care of you all. See you in the next video.